Yes, Verissimo, you may, wherever you are.
Yay.
Yay! Hi there.
Oh, here's Tanya.
Off the record.
Hi, Tanya.
Yeah. The reason
Yes,
why
we're
I
no longer
asked that question with Ubuntu,
Yes.
in real life I have a lot of clients that use Linux, and every time there's an Emerald update, they can't figure out how to extract it, replace the files and stuff. The reason why I asked that, because a lot of people would use a free OS, because a lot of people just play Second Life, on their computers, and they use Linux, and it would be so much easier if it was in a repo to automatically update the clients, for these people. It would be so much easier, because a lot of people actually enjoy using Ubuntu, and they're not really tech savvy. They just want a double-click installer, you know what I mean? That's why I've asked that. It'll be such a great help. I know about 20, 30 people in real life that use Ubuntu and play Second Life.
Cool. And I think he's here. I'm sure he must be here. Okay, well, he tells me that he's going to put that in his to-do list, so that's something we're going to do.
Great.
Oh, there he is.
Is he still here? Is he still here?
Yeah, TechWolf Lupindo.
I'm grabbing the latest source off of Google Code. Is that the latest source, or is it on another website?
Grab it from our HG, because that's up to date as to right now, and it will constantly forever be up to date. Mercurial, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I'm grabbing it.
And that's going to be up to date regularly. We make a commit, it's there.
Miss anything? Sorry, I had to run off for a minute. All that coffee.
Can I ask about 64-bit Emerald? I have a question about one of the features.
Absolutely, go for it.
I run 64-bit Emerald on my Windows 7 gaming laptop, and one of the things I really like about Emerald is the fact that you can change the skins of it. And when I have it on my laptop, I notice there's only 3 skins for 64-bit. Do you guys plan on changing to add more skins for 64-bit Emerald? I mean, it looks really good, but I like green. It's my favorite color, so just wondering if you have any plans to add that skin.
At the moment, we don't. That's not to say that we won't. We're, like I said earlier, we're focusing on the now and
right, I understand.
And doing what we need to do. But certainly, that's something we'd like to do. And although this release that we put out soon may be the last as far as Snowball 1.5, it may not be, and we may add to that while we work on Viewer 2 code.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
I'd like to pretend he was talking about me, too.
When did you decide that you were going to not release the list after you posted that you would be releasing the list that the lab gave you?
Well, like I stated earlier, we will be releasing that, but we don't. At the same time, we don't want to put at risk those requirements that we have to fulfill. So we will release them as we achieve them, and by the time we've achieved all of them, we'll put out a full list, and you'll be able to see them all together with the results of what we've done, how we've done it, how you can verify it for yourselves, and so on.
Right, but your blog post said that you'll be releasing less than a couple of days. I'm just saying that this is the kind of thing that's a problem because you keep changing your mind, and I think this is just a suggestion, is when you make a blog post, sit down with your team, clarify exactly what you're going to do, because if you keep moving like that, you're going to get a lot of criticism from people who are already looking to criticize you. These are things I'm just pointing out. You can take what you want and leave the rest, but it's things I'm pointing out.
Thank you, Angela. It's good to see you again, by the way.
Thank you to you too.
I wonder, honey, how did this go for you? Because you were one of the very vocal residents who appeared at the last panel afterward. Was this one better, honey?
Well, actually, please don't call me honey. Thank you. That's okay. I'm probably old enough to be your grandmother. But actually, the other one, I am very critical, but my criticism is more from, to be honest, I mean, I don't use animal viewers, so I can really care, but the main reason I put forward some of these criticisms is because I'm very, very well aware of how people, I have this strong belief that perception is 9/10 of the law, and I've been watching, this kind of stuff for years on the internet and how people react to that. So it's more of a, look at this, consider this type of thing. It's really trying to give, hopefully, critical feedback that will be useful, for the team, as opposed to just kind of like going, oh, you guys are assholes or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a jerk about it.
Feedback. In fact,
this one is bad. I still have a problem, Arabella. I still have a problem with, I know you've gotten a lot of harsh feedback, and I will admit, I was shocked when you came on, and the very first thing you said, and I don't know if Arabella is even still here, but I was really shocked at the very first thing that Arabella says is, oh, by the way, we fired Lord Greg, he didn't quit. And it's like, okay, let's get our digs in, let's get the barbs in. That stuff is, I don't know whether he did or not, but this kind of thing is just not good. A lot of people have a lot of respect for LGG, and I've given him a hard time, about his spelling.
Yes, I know. Actually, I have felt the need to say that because it's one of the most obvious rumours, and I have not said a word, for a couple of weeks about this, because I really believe in allowing people to maintain their dignity. And I haven't said a lot of things about a lot of people, and that had to be said because it is just assumed, and it's just completely distorted the picture, and this is why I said this. And Greg knows that I would not have done that unless I had no other option.
It wasn't
and Greg, just let me finish.
Just
let me finish, please. Just let me finish. Greg also knows that I have the highest regard for him personally, and he and I have been friends for a while, and Greg knows very well that I have absolutely no personal problem with him. We have had very many long conversations about a huge range of issues, and we get along, I think, like a house on fire. Read that how you'd like. I do have to run because I do have lots of things going on here, but that had to be said because it was one of the most silly things that was being perpetuated through the blog sphere particularly, so that's why I said it. And Greg is well aware that I would not do anything to hurt him if I could possibly avoid it. Okay, thanks everybody. My avatar's going to be here, but not me.
Thank you, Arabella. I just want to add to that. Greg and I are good friends. We've always been friends. We still are friends. And Greg, as everybody knows right now, certainly is very intelligent and one of the strongest opposers to not necessarily Emerald, but as to the possibility of things being done in Emerald that shouldn't be done behind people's backs, behind other developers' backs. And Greg and I have had long discussions about how to address things like that, and we've been doing that. So I've been taking his advice, and the dev team has been taking his advice, and making sure that all these little possibilities are plugged. And Greg can't, because he's not on the team anymore, he can't verify that these things have been fixed. But we are, taking, like Angela said, we need to take constructive criticism, and I have been. Greg is very good at criticizing. So why did you fire him? That's
exactly what Arabella said, is that you guys fired him.
Well, I think, first of all, I wasn't in favor of removing Greg. Greg and I have always been friends, and I think Greg had good reasons to be upset over the AMKDU stuff. I was upset as well, especially the fact that when we found out it was displaying path names and so on. I think what clinched it was the public blog post that he made. And that started up a lot of drama and a lot of problems for us that could have been fixed internally. In fact, it was shortly after that we removed. Yeah, I know, my cat's hungry. She wants her treats. It was shortly after that.
So it was in response to that blog post he made.
Yeah. Pardon? In response to Greg's public blog post, that that certainly didn't look good, and it certainly didn't help Emerald. And Greg still wanted to be part of the team, but after that, it's hard to keep him as part of the team.
So he's
personally,
still
I miss Greg.
He still wanted to be a part of the team after he made that blog post?
No, I think Greg is. I've talked to Greg about coming back on the team, and he's here. He can talk for himself, but yeah.
Thank you, Greg. We were hoping you would pipe up.
Yeah, sorry, I was kind of waiting for a good point to mention a couple things. I do appreciate Jessica. I know that you've been doing absolutely everything you can to, make Emerald safe, and I appreciate your efforts so much. That's exactly what I was trying to do from the very start, and I was doing everything I can trying to get this fixed, but everybody seemed against me. No one would stand up for it. They didn't care that this data was being put in there. They didn't care it was being hidden, encrypted, or anything like that. I did absolutely everything I could to try to get this to change, and nothing would work. So I had no other option but to just warn people, look, there's nothing I can do. Emerald's gone way out of control. You need to get off of it, because there's devs in there that don't mind putting in encrypted stuff. They don't mind hiding stuff. They don't mind broadcasting your personal information. I can't stop them anymore. They don't care about me. They're breaking their own binaries and going off without that. And so I had to do something. I've told people that it was safe, and I'm now to blame for that. They're working and they're being at risk because of the things I had said. And I tried to make that as clear as I could. I have nothing for causing all this drama to Emerald. I completely, I hate all the, there's so much false drama that you guys get. I got it just as much as you guys did. And really, to be honest, that's kind of why all the things I've said are really just kind of getting, knocked under the rug, because they just assume I'm another one of those Emerald haters. But you guys, I mentioned to you, Jessica, you have a serious issue to get fixed. The devs that were fine with this data being put in there, you've got to get them away where they cannot affect the binaries anymore.
We've addressed, because you talked to me about that, how to protect binaries. And binaries are done on our server now. They're not on anyone's computer. And we can all build them ourselves. So it's really...
Not just that server. These things matter. I've mentioned there's so many ways where someone could, if they wanted to,
of course, but that goes with any viewer.
Well, yeah, it does, except that you guys have already been doing it. Well, not you, Jessica, of course, but, you've got the Onyx people, or whoever was able to view this stuff. They've already shown that they don't mind doing this, and that they will do this. They will hide it, and they'll also encrypt it as much as they can to get away with it. That's a big difference to me, and that's, I think,
it is.
Those people
Sadly,
need to be
Greg,
removed from being
it took you getting removed from the team to fix the MKDU.
Exactly.
It took the DDoS to fix, how can I word it right? EMKDU got removed when you were gone from the team.
But that's just
and
like
when the DDoS
Fracture,
happened, we got rid of Fracture. And the remaining people, I know that you don't trust Fox, but he has no opportunities left, even if he wanted to. And I don't believe he does. Genuinely, we really, all three of us, all of us, really want to make a go at this and do it right. And even if, in worst case scenario, he still had bad intentions, he doesn't have the opportunity anymore.
That's very good, but there's still a couple people left who knew about all this stuff going on. Not Fox. If he doesn't have any way to touch the binaries, that's a big improvement. And you guys need to make that public, because I have no idea that you're doing any of these things. And, I'm really trying to find out.
I actually talked about that a little bit today.
Mentioned about how you have an open build server. These are important fixes. I want to support you guys. I've always, I've been behind you guys 100%. And I need to know about these things. These are important. You need to tell your users about things, because until you do, it's just as bad as it was before.
Well, we're making changes. If you were part of the team, you would see those changes. Tanya is part of our team now, and she can see it herself. Tanya has come across to me as very professional, and I don't know how she'll handle when we have our little arguments and disagreements. But we have Data Linden, we have Carl Linden that are going to be keeping track of things too. And believe me, they're not going to allow crap to be going on.
Well, I really do trust
so
you, Debs, and that's
things have changed, Greg. If you were back on the team, you would see that.
Well, it still does surprise me that you guys...
That there's ways for people to not go behind your back. I fully agree that Tanya and the Lindens will do everything in their power, just like I did, to make sure that everything is safe. And I would have still been on the team if I still had any way, but what I